This is my ranking of immersive sim games that I've played, based purely on my personal experience. Each one is placed from masterpiece to trash depending on how strong the player's freedom is, how reactive the systems feel, and how well each game rewards creative problem solving. Let's get into it. Pathologic 2 is set in a remote town where a deadly plague spreads faster each day. Playing as Surgeon Artemy Burak, the objective is to search for a cure while balancing survival, difficult choices, limited time, and the lives of desperate townspeople. As I spent more time with it, I realized every decision carried weight, because helping one person often meant ignoring someone else. I had to watch my hunger, exhaustion, and supplies while planning every trip across the town before the clock stole another opportunity. I also liked how trading, stealing, treating patients, and gathering resources all shaped my progress instead of pushing me toward a single solution. The strange conversations, unforgettable characters, and unsettling atmosphere stayed with me long after I stopped playing, even though the combat felt weaker than the rest of the systems. I'm placing Pathologic 2 in the great tier. Dishonored 2 follows the struggle to reclaim a stolen throne through open-ended missions filled with stealth, combat, supernatural powers, and multiple paths. Players can choose Emily or Corvo, combining unique abilities, gadgets, and environmental interactions to overcome every objective. Once I settled into its systems, I loved how almost every encounter let me create my own solution instead of following a fixed route. I spent plenty of time sneaking across rooftops, hiding bodies, linking enemies with domino, and finding clever ways to clear entire areas without raising alarms. Whenever I wanted more action, the swordplay, pistols, and powers worked together so well that every fight felt different. The Clockwork Mansion and the time travel mission easily became my favorite moments because they constantly surprised me with fresh ideas. Although the story never reached the same quality as the gameplay, the freedom and creativity kept me experimenting until the end. It belongs in the excellent tier. Shadows of Doubt is a detective simulation set inside a procedurally generated cyberpunk city where every citizen has routines, homes, jobs, and secrets. Each investigation relies on gathering evidence, searching apartments, questioning people, unlocking doors, and connecting clues without direct guidance. After I settled into its systems, every case felt like a puzzle that depended on my own observations instead of obvious markers. I searched through filing cabinets, checked fingerprints, read emails, and followed tiny details that slowly revealed the truth behind each mystery. Solving a difficult case after chasing dead ends felt incredibly rewarding because nothing was handed to me. I also liked how every building could hide another lead, making simple exploration exciting. The repeated background details and technical issues occasionally broke the illusion, especially when the interface refused to cooperate, but the detective work remained strong enough to keep me investigating. I'm placing this in the great tier. Prey places players aboard the Talos 1 space station after a disastrous alien outbreak leaves the crew scattered and the facility in chaos. Survival depends on exploration, resource management, creative problem solving, and using tools, weapons, or alien abilities to overcome obstacles. Once I understood how everything connected, I realized almost every obstacle could be solved in several different ways instead of following a single path. I sneaked past dangerous enemies, hacked locked doors, searched abandoned offices for useful codes, and even used the glue cannon to reach places that looked impossible at first. Every new area rewarded my curiosity because paying attention to small details often uncovered another shortcut or valuable resource. The mimics also kept me alert since almost any ordinary object could suddenly attack without warning. Although the ending didn't leave the same impact as the journey before it, the freedom, level design, and player choice easily place this in the excellent tier. Ctrl Alt Ego is set aboard a massive space station where a disembodied consciousness escapes destruction by transferring between robots, machines, and electronic devices. Progress depends on solving problems through exploration, upgrades, environmental interactions, and using different mechanical bodies with unique abilities. After I learned how the possession system worked, every area encouraged me to think before acting instead of rushing into danger. I enjoyed jumping between security bots, turrets, drones, and terminals because each one opened another creative solution to a problem. Searching hidden corners for upgrades felt rewarding, and I liked experimenting with different tools to overcome obstacles in unexpected ways. The station also had plenty of funny robot conversations that added personality without slowing the adventure. Traversal occasionally became tedious, and some enemy encounters felt harsher than they needed to be, but the freedom to solve situations however I wanted kept me interested until the credits. This goes in the good tier. Gloomwood presents a dark Victorian-inspired city where an unnamed doctor escapes captivity by relying on stealth, exploration, environmental awareness, and carefully managed resources. Progress rewards patience, hidden routes, and smart decision-making instead of direct confrontations with every enemy. As I became familiar with its mechanics, I loved how every shadow became a valuable hiding place, and every brightly lit hallway demanded extra caution. I spent plenty of time studying guard movements before making my next move, because rushing ahead almost always ended badly. The briefcase inventory was another feature I enjoyed, since arranging weapons and supplies felt like a natural part of surviving instead of a simple menu. I also appreciated how environmental storytelling and subtle clues kept me curious without explaining every mystery. I only wish there was more to play, because the adventure became even stronger right before the available content ended. I'm placing this in the excellent tier. Thief tells the story of Master Thief Garrett as he sneaks through a dark city ruled by fear, corruption, and strict guards. Success depends on staying hidden, studying enemy patrols, using specialized arrows, and discovering multiple routes to complete each objective unnoticed. As I became more familiar with its stealth systems, I enjoyed planning every move instead of rushing through dangerous areas. Slipping between shadows, distracting guards, and finding hidden entrances made every successful robbery satisfying because getting spotted usually meant trouble. I also liked how different difficulty settings encouraged a more careful approach by limiting helpful features and rewarding clean runs. Some missions offered enough freedom to experiment with different strategies, which kept the stealth engaging. The weak story, repetitive city hub, and awkward movement occasionally interrupted the momentum, but the stealth mechanics were enjoyable enough to keep me sneaking until the final mission. I'm placing this in the good tier. Skin Deep sends Nina Pasadena aboard pirate-controlled spaceships where rescuing kidnapped cats depends on stealth, exploration, environmental interactions, and creative use of everyday objects. Each mission offers compact sandbox-like locations filled with hidden routes, hazards, and several ways to reach the objective. As I spent more time experimenting, I realized almost everything around me could become part of a clever escape or an unexpected trap. I distracted guards, crawled through vents, searched every room for useful items, and turned ordinary objects into hilarious solutions whenever my original plan failed. I also enjoyed how each spaceship encouraged curiosity, because discovering shortcuts and secret interactions always felt rewarding. The lighthearted story, talking cats, and unpredictable situations made every mission entertaining without reducing the satisfaction of successful stealth. Even after finishing one rescue, I wanted to replay missions just to discover different possibilities. I'm placing this in the great tier. Cruelty Squad places you in the role of a contract assassin carrying out dangerous corporate missions across bizarre, open-ended locations where stealth, gunplay, exploration, and creative thinking all play an important part. Every mission encourages different approaches, rewarding experimentation, hidden routes, unusual equipment, and careful planning instead of following a single solution. As I learned more about its strange systems, I found myself constantly discovering mechanics I never expected. I experimented with different weapons, body upgrades, secret paths, and bizarre tools that completely changed how I approached each objective. I also enjoyed replaying missions because better knowledge opened faster and smarter ways to eliminate targets. The surreal presentation took some time to get used to, and the unforgiving combat could be frustrating, but the freedom and originality kept me curious from beginning to end. Its ambitious ideas easily earn a place in my excellent tier. Deathloop revolves around escaping an endless time loop by eliminating 8 powerful visionaries across a single day using stealth, combat, exploration, and carefully planned routes. Every district changes depending on the time, encouraging experimentation with different powers, weapons, and tactics to uncover new opportunities. As I unlocked more abilities and equipment, I enjoyed shaping my own playstyle instead of relying on one approach. Sneaking across rooftops, linking enemies together for silent eliminations, setting traps, and hacking security systems made every district fun to revisit. The online invasions from Juliana added another layer of tension because I never knew when another player would interrupt my plans, forcing me to adapt on the fly. I only wish the final solution to breaking the loop offered more freedom instead of guiding me toward a single path. Even with that limitation, the excellent level design and creative gameplay easily place this in the excellent tier. That wraps up my ranking of immersive sim games. If there's another one you think deserves a place on this list, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.